check. There we go. Now we've got a microphone. Yes. Yes. All right. We did it. We're live. Microphone's hot. Music's going. What up, Self-Res Coffee? How we doing, dude? That coffee you guys gave me at LouFest was delicious, by the way. Very much enjoyed that. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. You guys made it. It's the weekend. For most of us, at least. Oh, man. I am tired. I was up late last night helping a buddy. We literally like tore apart half of his engine and pulled the head out of his engine so that we can get it resurfaced. So, thankfully, today is a short build. Got a nice, easy, budget-friendly build. Should go together real quick. So we're probably gonna be stretching it to even make this stream last an hour, but you know, we'll do what we can do. How's everybody doing? We'll give it a minute here before we get started. Hopefully Botrix will work today. You never know. Ooh, maybe we'll turn the lights on in the background. How about that? It's too red. What's going on, everybody? Samuel, Anthony, thank you guys for hopping in on the stream. Appreciate that. We're gonna be building a PC today. Nice little budget-friendly 1080p gaming PC. Aga, what's up? Thank you for the like on the stream. How we doing? We're just gonna give it a minute here, let people start showing up before we really get started. What's everybody up to on this fine Friday evening? What's going on? I'm doing good. How are you, Ego? Yo, what up, Alicia? What are you doing up this late? Doing good? Love to hear that. All right, so people are starting to show up. Let's talk about the build. So, like I said, budget-friendly 1080p gaming PC. So we've got a Ryzen 7 5700X. These are crazy good deal right now. You can get these for 130 bucks, or maybe like 140. 32 gigs of RAM. Got an RTX 4060. Got a nice little B550 motherboard, and then we've got the Thermalright digital Assassin 120. So this actually has a little digital display that you can put like your CPU, GPU temperatures, whatever you want on there. It doesn't have like an LCD screen, so you can't just like put pictures and stuff on it, but it gives you a nice little readout. It's only midnight is late, okay? I'm in my 30s, midnight is super late. What up, Mr. Rainbow? And then to finish it off, we've got a nice 650 watt A+ gold power supply, and this nice little Antec Elite AX61 case. All right, should we start on the build? Is a 12400F and a 4070 a good pair, 5070? Personally, I would say no. If you're gonna spend the money on a 5070, assuming this is a new build, I would put like a 7500F. Or a 9600X or something in there with DDR5 RAM. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the performance out of that system that it could get, you know? All right, let's start building, because I'm hungry already. It's 2:25 a.m. Jeez, it's way too late. Yes, that is why, Alicia, I am old. How aren't there any live comments? I don't know, Real Sky. I mean, we just kind of started, but yeah, I feel like it's a little quiet over there. It's a little quiet. But yeah, personally, if you're gonna get, you know, a higher end, I mean, a 5070, like overall in terms of what's available out there in the world, 5070 is pretty high end. So if you're gonna get a higher end GPU, you definitely need to make sure the rest of your system matches that. Otherwise, you're just gonna bottleneck and you're not gonna get the full performance out of that GPU that's possible. All right, ASRock B550. It's a little bent backwards there. Okay, there we go. There's our nice, beautiful little motherboard. Let's get our 5700X out here. My comments are not live. They're actually posted yesterday. You pre-posted all your comments. You just set them as draft and then they auto-populate. Yeah, Real Sky, I don't know, man. There's some people in the chat. Or at least, I mean, there's people watching the stream, so, you know, who knows? There we go. Got our little 5700X in there. It's definitely in the slot. Boom. All right, and then we've got our Hyper M.2 slot here, so we're gonna put our M.2 in there. Yeah, put it in there, pull that lever down. What's up, Caleb? How we doing? Ooh, yeah, slot that in. My God, we got all the weirdos in the chat today. How's everybody on TikTok doing? Welcome in, welcome in. I need a little bolt for that, and I'm sure it's in here. Yes, right there. No, they're not being super weird. They're just being goobers. Just a bunch of goobers in the chat. All right, so Team Group MP44Q, 1 terabyte, ultra fast M.2, especially for this budget build. But I get these for a really reasonable price, so I throw them in pretty much all my builds nowadays. All right, there we go. 1 terabyte of storage installed. I told you guys, this thing's going quick. This is the ASRock B550 Phantom Gaming 4 AC. The world's longest name, but that's what it is. If you look at the details tone, it'll show you the full spec list because it doesn't look like Botrix is working today. You can try typing in exclamation point specs, but I don't think Botrix is working. Okay. Normally I would do RAM next, but we've got a nice little air cooler here, so I'm gonna actually do that next. Rank. Is that a thing on YouTube? I don't even know. I don't even know. Yo, Gaming Trucker Dead, what's up? This guy, that's right. This guy is live and building a sexy little PC today. So, if you look at this, just nice, clean looking, and then there's just a nice little spot here where the readout for, you know, motherboard temperatures, CPU temperatures, whatever. That's where that all shows up. I'm doing good, man. How are you? A little tired. Oh, I guess I can just use this. Okay, so we got that. And we're gonna need these guys for our fan. And we're gonna need these guys for this. I was up late last night helping my buddy work on his car, so I'm a little tired today. Oh, Botrix showed up over on the horizontal stream at least. They're the same price, but the 5060 hasn't released yet. They've announced it, but it's not actually available for another like 2 weeks-ish, give or take. Can't complain. Hey, love to hear that. Get all these standoffs in here. Why is there an extra standoff? That's weird. People out here losing standoffs. I think this needs to go outwards. All right. Oh yeah, definitely outwards. What's the case? Antec AX61 Elite. Yeah, the MSRP for the 4060 and 5060 are the same. I mean, we'll see what actual prices for 5060s are when they come out. Yeah, they're not out yet. What up, JR Blur? How we doing? Okay. This is self-employed. I mean, I work full-time as well as building PCs. But yeah, for this, I own my company. Do I think the Assassin SE can handle a 14700K? Is that the one that looks... I'm trying to remember all their things. Is the Assassin SE the one that looks kind of like this, where it's just a single fan and a single set of pipes? If so, then no. If it's the one that has two sets of like fins and pipes, then yeah, it should. It might be a little kind of on the edge there because the 14700K can pull a lot of power, but it should be able to handle it. I would say I prefer, yeah, if it has the two sets, then I think you'll be okay. Like if you're doing like a Cinebench run or like crazy heavy CPU stuff where it's pulling like full power, then it might, you know, thermal throttle a little bit. But for gaming and stuff, it'll be fine. I love using AIO coolers. Like we use those on most of our builds. It kind of just comes down to like price point. And this is a very budget-friendly system, and so there just isn't the budget for even like a $50 CPU cooler, which is about the cheapest AIO you can get. All right. Should make sure that's out of the way. Okay, got that side started. Get this side started. $7800X3D with a 4070 Ti Super. What would be a good asking price? It's tough. I just like don't deal and use stuff very often. I mean, the cost of those two components new is about $1,000. I would guess probably like for the overall build, maybe like $1,800, depending on how old it is. Like if it's pretty new, you know, you might be able to get a little bit more out of it. All right, so we can kind of leave that as is for now. Get these guys untangled. Get our cooling fan out here. Came to flex my 3090 Ti Kingpin. Oh, nice. I'm sad that one, EVGA is no longer making GPUs, and two, that means that Kingpin can't work with them anymore, because they make some really cool stuff when in their collaborations. Oh, then it's totally on the wrong spot. Dude, EVGA is the GOAT, man. It's very sad that they don't make GPUs anymore. You listed it for $1,200 with a monitor. I mean, I would say like for stuff like that, you know, as long as you're not needing to get rid of it like day one, shoot high, man. Shoot a little high and see what happens. And you can always lower the price later. All right, there we go. So we got our fan plugged in. We're gonna route this to the back just so it's more hidden. And then this USB cable here is gonna route back and down to these USB ports. Alrighty. Yeah, the number of times I've said rip EVGA on stream because they don't make GPUs anymore, I don't think I could even count it. I'll raise it and try and get 1,500. Do it. You know, especially if it's like a good quality system, has like a good motherboard and everything, like you can probably get a good amount of money for that with how expensive it is to buy, you know, those components these days. Got a 5600X, 5700 XT with an X570. Hey, there you go. It's a great little gaming PC still. All right, there's all that done and dusted. We can get our case out here, just like that. Hold on. Let's get our bolts out here. Hopefully this came with extra standoffs because it doesn't have all the standoffs pre-installed. Appreciate your work, and the PC you just built for me is a work of art. You're a master craftsman. I will recommend you to anyone looking for a new PC. Oh, thank you, sir. That is very nice of you to say. A couple of zip ties. Let's get these bolts out of here. Bolts are in a bag, inside of a bag, inside of a bag. Crazy. Okay, I need my iFixit driver so I can install these other standoffs. Or just, oh yeah, it needs 2. Or 3, I guess. But they only gave me 2? Come on. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do, so we're missing this one at the bottom corner. It's really not that vital because the only thing you really plug in down there is the front panel connector. So if I have to choose one to leave out, that's the one I'm gonna choose. So we'll just leave that as is because I don't see, yeah, there's no more standoffs in there. It's so weird of Antec to not provide enough standoffs. Weird behavior. The GPU going in this one is a 4060. Same, constantly sending people to you when they tell me they want a PC. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you guys. Both mine are still operating, looking like the first day I brought them home. Love that. Yeah, shipping to the UK and the taxes involved with sending stuff to the UK is just crazy. It's too much. That VAT is wild. I think that's, oh, there it goes. There we go. Now that's definitely in there. Okay. Embrace your little heart. Sag. Very sag. All right, got those all lined up. zip some bolts in. Monitor would you pair with a 9950, a 5090? I mean, I've never personally gamed at 4K because I don't play like cinematic type games. Like I mostly just play like Warzone and FPS stuff. So if that's what you're playing, like you're playing stuff like Warzone, I would go 1440p and just get like a really high hertz monitor, like a 240 or something. If you play more cinematic games, like it could probably be worth it to go 4K at that point. I know it's expensive, but should I upgrade to 3070 or the 6700 XT? It's a good question. I don't think I've looked at a comparison between those two in a long time. I think if I had to guess, I think the 6000 series is about the same age. So the 6700 XT is probably a little bit lower performance than the 3070 if I had to guess. But I would do a couple of quick YouTube searching and just like watch some comparison videos because I'm sure they exist. Because I don't know off the top of my head. You have two GPUs? 3070 and a 1070? 4070 Ti or 4070 Super? I mean, they're very similar in terms of performance. So if you can get one for significantly cheaper, I would go with that one. It doesn't look like it's bolted down all the way. Okay, there we go. That's all nice and bolted down. We are good to keep moving here. This build is already like 50% done. It's crazy. What's the thing that doesn't exist? The 4090 Ti. The market prices are insane. How do I manage? I mean, you know, I basically just have to pass on whatever prices that I have to pay to get components. Like, you know, the customer pays that plus my build fee. It's very tough to stay competitive as a small business when I don't get like allocations from these big companies. But I hunt around for the best deals. And I try to keep GPUs especially in stock so that I always have a GPU. Like I have most of the GPUs in stock as long as it's not like a white GPU available. So that gives me like the freedom to like, you know, not buy overpriced GPUs just because I'm in a bind. And that helps a lot. What's a good budget GPU for 1080p gaming? The 4060. You know, if you can find a used one that's older, you know, like a 6650 XT, 6700 XT, something like that, or like a 7600 XT. Those are all great for 1080p gaming. If you have a good, like, newish CPU, the Intel Arc B550 is great. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, this is the first case in a while I've had that has like separate front panel connectors. Haven't had to do that in a while. But don't worry, I know where they go. guys are all in there. We'll tuck them to the back. All right. Okay, we're gonna go off to the left here. With our USB cable. Run that down here. Run that into one of our USB 2 ports. Okay. Then we've got another USB cable here. This is for the case. Run that in there. Please check Sir Redneck's bio if you're interested in one for yourself. Yes. I have pretty much every 50 series GPU in stock right now. And then I have a 9070 XT, a couple of Intel Arc GPUs, pretty much everything. But yeah, you can definitely go to my website if you have questions or want a quote. What do I think of the 5600 and 6750 GRE? I mean, it's still great for gaming. It's definitely, you know, it's getting a little aged at this point, but it's, you know, still very capable of gaming. Yeah, look for good deals used is a good way to do it. I have the 5080 OC with 12900K. Wait, you have two different PCs, Saya? 4600K is going to be the cheapest for 1080p with the best performance. The 4600K, oh, for CPU? The cheapest would be something like this, like a 5600X or 5700X. If you want it to be budget friendly but more like forward looking, I would look at like a 7500F. You can get them on AliExpress for like 130 bucks and get yourself a, you know, a cheapish motherboard and good DDR5 RAM. That's probably going to be the best way to go about that if you want to be able to like have you know, a better upgrade path. Okay, we're gonna have to kind of clean this up a little bit. Okay. I'm using up these two zip ties early. Fortunately, there's no pass-through up above the headers here in the center, which is crazy, but it's okay. We'll still make it look pretty clean. Okay, so that's gonna go up like that. All right, let's finish plugging in the stuff we got back here. So we've got our USB 3, which is gonna go right there. Okay. Then we've got our case fans, which are gonna be powered by this SATA cable. Gonna run there, and this, got another, do we have another 5 volt? Yes, we do. So we'll run that down there. $14600K is only $190. Yeah, but that's $70 more than the 7500F. And AM5 stuff is way better than Intel's offerings. And there's not like a good upgrade path for 14th gen anymore because they're not making any new CPUs on that platform. Okay, so we're gonna be pulling these guys over here and these guys across there. Likely our CPU power is gonna have to go down along here. So we should be free to bolt these guys down, or zip those guys down right now. Because all these channels are really small. So like if you can get a 7500F, you then have the upgrade path of going up to like a 9800X 3D or whatever someday if you want. But 14th gen, you're stuck with 14th gen. And like if you switch to a higher end 14th gen, like the 14700K or 14900K, you're still not going to beat out a 9800X 3D. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're on a budget, but like, I guess it really depends on how much you're willing to spend. Like, are you trying to spend like $600 on a build, or are you trying to spend like $1,000 on a build? Because those two things would create very different responses in terms of what I would suggest for a PC. And honestly, if you're only trying to spend like $600 on a build, you're probably better off trying to go find used components to really get the most performance out of your limited budget. Okay, so that all's looking pretty good. This guy doesn't need to be doing anything. Okay, let's get some power cables in here. The stability on the 14600K might be slightly better than some other stuff, but we're talking upgradability. So having a PC that you can upgrade over time without having to make major changes, it just doesn't make sense to go with Intel right now. It's that simple. Do I do custom loops? I do occasionally. Not that many people ask for them, and it's not, you know, unless it's just for show. The added cost of a custom loop is not really worth it in terms of performance, unless, you know, you're doing crazy overclocking stuff, which then it could be. But for like 99.5% of people, there's no reason to go custom loop. So I very rarely will build custom loops, because most of the time it just doesn't make sense. Just finished building my PC, but can't tell if it would be considered a high-end PC or not, or mid. It's very subjective. I mean, like, I would consider, you know, when I say high-end or mid, I'm usually thinking about what's currently available. So like today, with new components, a mid-tier PC would be like 5060 Ti to like a 5070 Ti or like a 9070 XT. But that's like, you know, only using new components, right? It could be a very different story if you're trying to look at every, you know, PC component that's available today, not just what's new. Okay, got that through there. like I might have to pull that off to the side just because this is pretty shallow. Or actually, maybe it just needed to fit back. It doesn't fit back there, does it? Nope. Okay. Okay, there's that guy. There's that guy. I think we'll just get rid of that zip tie and we'll replace it. We'll put that other cable right there too. Just trying to be really careful not to mess up any of those wires. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. I think. Is there enough space? The back panel. This might need to go like down here like that, just so it has enough depth. Like that. That way it's not going to get pushed on by the back panel. Okay, so we got all that stuff in here. We can get our motherboard power cable in. Most PCs will never get upgraded though. I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people that I know upgrade their components over time. Just depends on who you're talking to, but I've had a lot of customers come back to me and be like, hey, you know, you built this PC, like I'm thinking about upgrading, what should I do? There we go. That clicked in, so we're good there. It's this guy. So that guy's good. I think what we'll do here, and do that. Tie these guys up together here, like so. See if these guys will fit. Can use some cable ties too, not just zip ties. Thinking 1 terabyte, 5900X. Your gaming and video editing. It's a tough question. I mean, I would probably find like a used, like 7700 XT or something like that, if that fits in your budget. You'd love to learn this? YouTube, man. Watch more of my videos. Watch other people building PCs. Kind of just got to start learning it, you know? Okay. That's all in there. Let's get that. Oh, it's over here. So I just need 1 GPU power cable. That's it. Let's get all this stuff plugged in. For 1080p gaming, well, if you're editing too, like you need a solid enough GPU to handle editing stuff. That's why I would say you get something that's a little bit older but has enough VRAM and cores and stuff to do your editing work. So this is gonna sit like this. Okay, slide that in there. Oh. I think we need to take out that, yeah, we need to take out this thing real quick. It's gonna look a little funky, but. Gotta take this hard drive cage out, at least for a second here, because it is in the way. Mounting that power supply. Okay. I'll put that back in afterwards. We'll probably slide it over to the further back slot, just to give us enough space. Okay. I would always go for 2x32 if you want 64 gigs of RAM. Since CPUs can't operate in true quad channel, you're gonna get slightly better performance by just having 2 sticks of RAM. What's a good case? There's so many, man. So many case options out there. Okay, so now we got that in here. Plug this guy in. Okay, should be able to stick this guy back in here. Come on. That's in there. Okay. That. There we go. Filters back on. Okay. So, all we have left to do now, a little bit of cable management. All this stuff. That. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on there. First, I'm gonna run this GPU power cable through here. Actually, I think we have enough room we could run it through here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, GPU power cable is gonna go through there. Okay. Then we need to get our GPU out here. Good case brands. I mean, if you're talking, because it sounds like you're on a budget, Antec is a good option. Okanos is a good option. What's another good option? Montec is a good option for budget-friendly cases. The CPU in this one is a 5700X. Can I weaponize my laptop? No idea what that means. What up, Jeff56? What are you doing? Okay, here's all that. Now we just need 2 slots. It's gonna be the first 2. Open up our GPU slot. Slap this guy in here. Just like that. Okay. Oh. Oops. Okay. I really thought that was going to stay in place, to be honest. There's that. Pull that bad boy off. Pull that cable tight through there. Okay. Okay. There we go. That is a fully built PC. Make sure the back panel fits still. Go. There it is. We have a PC. What do we think of that? Hey on Junior, it's a 5700X. Can someone tell me what RAM is? I'm such a birthday, getting one for your birthday in 16 days. Yeah, random access memory. There you go. He's got it already for you. What up, Uvigu? Sorry, I don't know how to spell that. My dream is to build a game PC just like you're doing. Unbox every part, smell the graphics card, put thermal paste on CPU. Good luck. Hey, thank you. Appreciate you coming in here, man. Did you miss the build? Jay Savage, you did. We're done. That's it. It's a very simple build today. I do wish this case had more spots for pass-throughs here. Maybe I should put another zip tie on that guy, because it's being dumb. Here we go. Now it's not sticking out all weird. What type of budget would you recommend for 1440p gaming, streaming, and video editing? If you're building it yourself, I would say plan to spend $1,700 to $2,000. If you want to game and stream at the same time at 1440p, I'd say that's probably a good starting point. Just got home from work specs. It's got a 5700X, 4060, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 650 watt power supply, and 1 terabyte of storage. Is it 3060 good for VR games? Yeah, I think Torque's on it there. I've never played VR, so I'm not super familiar. Yeah, I would guess that too. I mean, the 3060 has, what, 12 gigs of VRAM? So that does help, but... All right, who's ready to see this bad boy turn on for the first time? Because I am. I'm ready to see it. Send me your favorite emojis. Let's see them. Yeah, if you're at 2 to 2.5K, you'll be able to build yourself a pretty solid PC. I would make sure if you're doing that, get yourself at least 48 gigs of RAM, maybe 64. You know, a CPU with at least 8 cores, ideally more, and a decent GPU, and you'll be set. Velcro would look really awful in the front of the case. A zip tie keeps it nice and clean. All right, y'all. First ever power on with this beautiful little gaming PC. Let's check it out. We got that nice little RGB fans up front. We got another RGB fan in the back. Got the RGB CPU fan, and then the Thermalright CPU cooler needs to be set up before you'll see the temperatures on there. But you can see the like where the bounds of the screen are right there, with those little lines moving around. Be my first PC and first build, so I'm excited. Hey, have fun with it, man. Ooh, the wifey's here. Another one in the bag. That's right. PC build number 260. Done. Finished. Finite. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm starving and I still have a couple other things to do tonight. So we're gonna call it right here. I know it's a short build today. It's only like an hour long. Doing a case swap soon. What's your opinion? I've never interacted with that Asus case. The NZX TH9 is really nice though. I like it a lot. Yeah, I've never used that Asus case, so I don't know much about it. But I do know the H9 is very nice to build in. high-end VR games. From what I've heard, you need a lot of VRAM. So you're gonna probably want 16 gigs of VRAM in your whatever GPU you choose. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, thank you, Jay Savage. Appreciate you hopping in, even though you had to come in late and miss the build. But you know, maybe you can go back and watch it later. All right, y'all. Have a great night. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys next week with a build. All right? It's a promise. We'll see you later. Okay, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Gotta end the streams one at a time.